Static. There we go. In my mind, the ideal board game would combine elements of German-style cooperative games, like maybe The Colonists, which might actually be an American game, with like the 1980s war game. Cooperative, mostly interesting decisions, and competitive, with a lot of luck, but also a lot of strategy. So the winners of these tournaments are usually the same people, because these games both involve a lot of skill. So you have a game like this, it wouldn't even, the ideal game in my mind wouldn't be based on anything factual. You would have things like this, but it would probably be something of more a superhero element, or a slipstream fiction element, or science fiction, or fantasy, rather than actual events. But it would play kind of like this, with the battalions and things, and like the hex movement. And it would be integrated well. It wouldn't be like you play a little of this, you play a little of that. You wouldn't go back and forth. It would be integrated more. It would be deep like this, because you see a lot of like the Western games to do with like cowboys and stuff. And they sort of integrate elements of those both, but they're not really all that deep. So it would be something like a deep war game meets a deep cooperative game. And I know you're going to say Terraforming Mars, or Terra Mystica, or even maybe Teotihuacan, but that's not exactly what I mean. It could be historical, or it could be fantasy, or it could be just some weird shit, or science fiction, but it would have to be like a really deep cooperative game that would take you like 9 hours, with like a deep war game like the Campaign for North Africa, which is probably the deepest war game there is, which takes like 3 months to play fully, even if you play like 8 hours a day. But the ideal game would be, to me, something that would last 12 hours. That would take elements of a cooperative game, like maybe this or Agricola, like all these choices that you have to make to build your colony, but then like there's a war, and it could be in space, or it could be in like a fantasy realm, or some sort of like weird fictional element. I kind of like weird fictional elements that don't have anything to do with science fiction or fantasy. So I've looked at games where it's like the element is modern day, and it's like a gang warfare, but those games aren't really all that great. They're pretty cool conceptually. They haven't really got to the depth of games like this. So a game where you're building some sort of situation, a colony, but also like alongside that, combative warfare, and it would be integrated well. So it'd be like The Colonists meets Advanced Squad Leader. Somehow. Somebody needs to combine those two games in a way that would make, Gloomhaven, which is the highest rated game on Board Game Geek, look like Monopoly or something. Just like a real boring game.